Hey guys, Dom again. So welcome back. Day number 5 of our little 7-day challenge. So let's see what we have in store for you for day number 5. There's a lot of talk about diets and bits and pieces and nutrition and stuff. And I think one of the simplest things that had worked for me, and I'm not saying it allowed me to go and drop weight, but it simply allowed me to get an understanding of how I was eating and how I should eat better. And that's the topic of intermittent fasting, which we're going to go through today. But first, a disclaimer. This one is definitely one that I need you to really take seriously. So if you're a diabetic or you've got gut-related issues, or you're having any other medical treatment for weight-related challenges, so whether you've got banded, whether you're on some medication or something, I need you to make sure that you qualify your physician and make sure that you're okay to try the intermittent fasting. And as it says, it's about us not eating for periods of time. So if you've got some other medical-related issues where you need to do that, I don't want you to put yourself in jeopardy in any way, shape, or form over the next couple of days of this challenge. Even if it's a day or two, I don't want you to put yourself in that predicament. Okay, so intermittent fasting. So here's where it sort of comes from. And it's not new. It's been around for a long, long time. Okay, so today we're seeing diets, we're seeing shakes, we've got meal services, youth foods, meal prep, food chef, fitness chef. And then there's probably an easier way, which is, this is where intermittent fasting does come into it. It's simply about you being able to control what you do with your food. In other words, sticking it from here and into here. So at the core, intermittent fasting can be broken down into simple, really easy steps. And there are 2 numbers, 16 and 8. When you add them up, you get 24 hours of the day. So in a nutshell, it is this. I go without food for 16 hours. That does not mean that I do not breathe. It does not mean that I do not drink water. It does not mean that I cannot have my cup of coffee. Just don't go out and have a Starbucks latte with caramel and bits and pieces, or your cup of tea. Okay, you can have that also too. What it does do is it does say that there's an 8-hour window where you are to consume your food. Now that doesn't mean consume every bit of food you can get your hands on. It's what is your typical day's food, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, if that's the case, or if you were doing 5 meals, but you're breaking it down and you're eating in the 8-hour window. So as we said, it's not 8 hours worth of eating, it's 8 hours to conduct your eating. It's not new, it's been around, and in time, if it's done right, you actually might find that you will get some benefits. Not everyone does, right? But things like there is some weight loss because I'm putting my body into that I can only eat in this window. So therefore, if I need to draw energy to perform, to live, to breathe, the body should go into its own stores of energy, fat, sucrose, sugars, and consume them. People do say that they'll see an increase in energy. Now, initially it's like, you're lethargic. That was my experience. But after 2 or 3 days on it, I was actually finding I sort of, I got over the funk. And I had a little bit more energy and I felt like that. So I wasn't going to put things in me that meant, it's the comfort food and you feel a bit, sit down. But because I wasn't doing that, I actually found I had the energy. There is some anecdotal evidence that talks about reversal of type 2 diabetes and a series of other activities. So let's not get into a debate on that. These are just some of the evidence that is out there. And this is a simple task for us for the next couple of days. So during fasting, what's actually happened? There are a few things. Okay, So in our blood levels, the levels of insulin typically will drop. And as a rudimentary rule, it facilitates fat burning. That's the basic thought process. Your levels of your growth hormone may increase, and anecdotally, they're saying it's up to 5-fold. Now, when that happens, it facilitates more fat burning and muscle gain. Now, this does not mean that if I fast and I fast for days on end, I'm going to get bigger and more muscular. Clearly not, because you see people that go on a hunger strike, it has a completely the reverse effect. Okay, but for the period of time you're doing it, this is the way that the body typically will react. The body induces what we call cellular repair processes. So what it starts to do when I'm not eating, it starts to remove the waste from the cells. Okay, there's an indication that this has some beneficial changes to project against the things like disease, cellular degeneration, and those type of activities. Okay, so let's break it down simple. When we don't eat, our insulin levels drop, our fat burning processes should go up. If our fat burning processes should go up and they are stored fats, then it should mean that we have less fat, therefore we are burning, and therefore we will have more muscular gain. At a rudimentary level, that's what we're talking about happening. Okay, so as I said, when we eat food, we increase our insulin, and therefore we end up storing sugar in our liver and we end up producing fat. This is why I said up front, if you're a diabetic and depends upon your severity of diabetes, you really need to get this checked out with your physician. And if you're already diagnosed, then you're probably going to be on some form of plan to help you manage that. When we are fasting, we are decreasing our insulin, and therefore we have a tendency to burn the stored sugars and burn the stored fat. Okay, so our task. Yes, we're on day 5. We've only got 2 more days to go the challenge. But for those of you that find that this works, try it for a week. If it works for you and it becomes part of your lifestyle, then great. It's one of many approaches out there that doesn't have you drinking potions out of a scoop and putting it into a shaker in order to get that pep in your step. So try a few days. See what your body does. What does your mind do? Are you hungry? Do you really want to eat? Can you overcome that? The numbers are very, very simple. 16 and 8. So if your last meal, if you finished eating, and that means that little bag of chips, that little block of chocolate, that little bit of licorice, and why? Because that's me. Got to be done by 8 p.m. If I then just drink water, I can have a cup of tea. I'm not going to have an iced latte with foam on top. But then my next meal is not until 16 hours later, like 12 o'clock. Now, the majority of us are probably doing this already without actually thinking about it. Majority of us are going to bed late, getting up late. It's a rush at the door. It's just a cup of coffee on the way. And then suddenly it's lunchtime at work. You're busy. So you're potentially already doing it. What this is going to do is force you into a position where when you wake up in the morning, you're not going to stop and buy the buttery croissant. You're not going to stop and have the bacon and eggs and barbecue sauce and whatever else on the burger in the morning before you get to work. You can still have your tea. You can still have your water. You can still breathe. All right. And as we said the other day about the importance of water, I want you to be drinking that period of like up to 2 liters between when you wake and lunchtime, so your pee is clear. And this might actually help that. So tea and coffee, your herbal drinks, but basically there is no food happening until that window. Now, if you can't go the 16 hours, but you can go 14, no one's going to go, I told you so. You work out what works for you. For some people, they prefer to do the 16-8. I know of others that don't eat for 14, but then they eat over a 10-hour window, but they eat, again, they eat their day's food periodically over it. They do not eat for 14 hours. They eat it over the course. Okay, so you're just putting yourself into that pattern, that learned behavior. Okay, so our task, we're going to try this. What I'd like you to do tonight, if you're starting this today, I want you to go into the group. My last meal, this is what I ate for dinner. And again, let's be honest. Say, if I ate, 3/5 of a lasagna, or I just had a salad and some chicken, write down what it was. And this is the time of your last meal. Try waking up in the morning. Just take the tea or the water. You put a squeeze of lemon in the water if you want to do so. You might want to have herbal tea, a green tea. Then try to go through. How did you go? At the end of the day, when you get home, what was it like? Did you die? And that statement, did you die? Well, no, you didn't. Did you have reflux? Did you have a bit of indigestion? Were you really, 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 really hungry? Or did you get to your 12 o'clock or your 16-hour window, and did you go, you know what? I'm sort of hungry, but I'm not going to go and eat a horse, but I can go and get it and I can have a snack. And then what did you do over the next 8 hours? How did you space your meals out? Okay, was it easy? Was it difficult? And as my dog saying, it's probably difficult. So have a crack. Other than that, again, my promise to you, as I said before, we've got some spots going on with the program face-to-face. We've got a few people who have started here, and they're all primarily training in the morning. So if it's of some interest to you, there's the information. Go to the Facebook page, click on the appointments tab. There's some available times. Book a call. Costs you nothing to book a call other than your time. If you're not interested, great. Just cool. Continue on with the challenge. See what you're getting out of this. Go from there. Other than that, application form. Let's get on the call. Have a chat. See if I can help you. And if I can't, I'll recommend to you another course of action within the context of what you are after. And on that, that's it. Day 5 is done. Intermittent fasting. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow for day number 6.